Morning, Jr5. How are you today? Let's start to explain our lesson today, lesson 2 in unit 2, which is called the solutions. The solution, it's a special type of the mixtures. It's a special type of mixtures where or when the solid substance dissolve in water. In this picture, I put spoon of sugar in cup of water, then make the stirring. So the sugar dissolves in the water. The sugar or the solid substance dissolves in the water. So these mixtures is called solutions. It's a special type of mixtures because the solid substance dissolves in water, so the solution is formed. But if you have a cup of water and then put a small amount of mud in the water, so the mud doesn't dissolve in the water. So this is the mixtures, not solutions. But the type of the mixtures where the solid substance dissolve in the water, so I can say that these mixtures is called solutions. Now, how to form the solutions? How can I make the solutions? The solution consists of two parts. The solution consists of two parts or two substances. Consists of solvent and solute. So the solution consists of solvent and solute. Solvent, like the liquid, it is the liquid inside the solutions, but the solute, it's the solid substance. So the solvent is the liquid, but the solute is the solid substance. So the definition of the solid of the solvent, it's the substance in which the solute dissolves. It's the substance in which solute dissolves or disperses, such as water, alcohol, and benzene. So the water and alcohol and benzene are liquid materials or liquid substance. So this is the solvent. It's the substance in which the solute dissolves. It's substance in which the solute dissolves, like water, alcohol, and benzene. But the solute, it's the solid substance. So it's the substance which dissolves in the solvent, like sugar or salt. Sugar or salt, they are solid substance, dissolves in the solvent. So they are called solute. You have to know that the water, it's the common solvent. The water is called common solvent because thousands of substances dissolves in it. So the water is called common solvent. Water called common solvent. So what's the meaning of the solutions? Or what is the definition of the solution? Solution, it's the mixtures in which the solute breaks down. The solute breaks down into its most basic particles that spread throughout the solvent. When you put the solute like sugar or salt, this sugar or salt breaks down into most basic particles. They will break down into most basic particles, then spread throughout the solvent, or then dissolves throughout or in the solvent. this process happens, the solute dissolves in the solvent to make the solution by process called solubility. So the solubility process is the process by which the solute dissolves in the solvent. The solubility process is the process by which the solute dissolves in the solvent, leading to the disappearance of the solute, till the disappearance of the solute. So the solute, you can express this process by equation the solute plus solvent. It will produce the solution by process called solubility process. So the solubility process, it is the process by which the solute dissolves in the solvent, leading to the disappearance of the solute. So the substance can be classified according to their solubility into soluble substance or insoluble substance. So the substance can be classified into soluble or insoluble. Soluble means dissolve, and insoluble means doesn't dissolve. So the soluble substance, it's the substance that dissolves in the solvent. Any solid substance dissolves in the solvent, so this is called soluble substance because it dissolves in the solvent. Like salt in salty solution. Like the salt, when you put the salt in the water solvent, so the salt will dissolve in the water. So the salt is called soluble substance. But insoluble substance, it's the substance that doesn't dissolve in the solvent, like sand in water or mud in water. When you put sand in the water, the sand doesn't dissolve in the water. So the sand called insoluble substance. So the substance can be classified according to their solubility into soluble or insoluble. Soluble substance that dissolve in the solvent. But the insoluble, it's the substance that doesn't dissolve in the solvent. Like sand in water, but soluble like salt in salty solution or sugar in sugary solution. Now we will talk about the factors that affecting the solubility of the component of the solutions. Factors affecting the solubility of the solutions. Number one, it's the quantity of the solvent and solute. The quantity means the amount of solvent and solute, or quantity of solvent and solute. The solubility depends on the amount of solvent and solute. If I have 2 cups of water, one of them contains 100 milli water and another one contains 500 milli water. And then I put in the 2 cups 1 spoon of sugar. The same amount of sugar, of the solute. Then stir it well. You observe that the dissolving sugar in 500 milli of water takes a shorter time than that needed to dissolve the same quantity in 100 milli of water. So the solubility process depends on the amount of solvent, where by increasing the amount of the solvent or by increasing the quantity of the solvent, the speed of the solubility increases. The speed of the solubility increases. And if I have 2 cups of water, the same amount of water, and then put in one of them 1 spoon of water, 1 spoon of sugar, and in another one 10 spoon of sugar, and then make stirring to dissolving 1 spoon of sugar and 10 spoon of sugar, you observe that the sugar that put it in number 1 or 1 spoon of sugar that put in the cup of water, 1 spoon, it takes a shorter time to dissolve than the 10 spoon of sugar, because the solubility process depends on the amount of solute, where by decreasing the amount of the solute, the speed of the solubility increases. So, factor number 1 that affected the solubility process is the quantity of the solvent and the solute, because by increasing the amount of solvent, the speed of solubility increases. So, it takes a shorter time to dissolve. And by decreasing the quantity of the solute, the speed of the solubility, it will increase. So it will take a shorter time to dissolve. Number 2, the temperature. If I have 2 equal amounts of sugar in 2 beakers containing the same amount of water, but one of them heat and another one use cold water. So I have 2 cups of water, the same amount of water and the same amount of sugar, but one of them is hot water and another one is cold water. And then make stirring. You can observe that the hot water, the sugar in the hot water, it takes a shorter time to dissolve. It takes a shorter time to dissolve. So, by increasing the temperature, the dissolving time, it will decrease. So, the solubility process, it will increase. So, the temperature affects the solubility process, because by using the same amount of solvent and solute and by increasing the temperature, the solubility time, it will decrease. Number 3, the stirring. If I have 2 cups of water, the same amount of water and the same amount of sugar, but one of them leave it without stirring and another one stirring, you can observe that in the case of stirring, the sugar takes a short time to dissolve. So the stirring increases the speed of the solubility process. So the stirring affected the solubility process because it increased the speed of the solubility process. Number 4, and this is the last one, it's the kind of the solute. If I have 2 cups of water and one of them I put 1 spoon of sodium chloride, and in the another one I put 1 spoon of sodium carbonate, and then make stirring. You can observe that the time needed to dissolve the sodium chloride is differs from the time that needed to dissolve the sodium carbonate, because the solubility process depends on the kind of the solute or depend on the type of the solute. So the time needed to dissolve sodium chloride differs from the time needed to dissolve sodium carbonate, because the kind of solute or the type of the solute affect the solubility process. So let's recap the factors affecting the solubility process. We have 4 factors affecting the solubility process. Number 1, quantity of the solvent and solute. Number 2, temperature. Number 3, stirring. And number 4, the kind of the solute. The quantity of the solvent, by increasing the solvent, the speed solubility it will increase. And by decreasing the solute, the speed of the solubility it will increase. And by using temperature, the dissolving time decrease and the solubility process the speed of the solubility process increase. And by using stirring, the speed of the solubility process increases, and the kind of the solute or the type of the solute affected the solubility process. Now let's solve this evaluation. Complete. Number 1. The solution consists of solvent and solute. Number 2. What is called common solvent? Yes, the water. The water is called the common solvent because thousands of substances dissolves in it. Number 3. Substances can be classified according to their solubility into soluble substance and insoluble substance. Number 4. By increasing the quantity of the solvent, the speed of the solubility increases. Number 5. What decrease the solubility time? Temperature and stirring. Yes, temperature and stirring decrease the solubility time. Thank you, Jr5, for listening.